I don't want to talk about anything else other than semiconductors. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Techbot Solutions, and the question everyone is asking themselves is, as tech begins to rebound and semiconductors are leading the way. We talked about this in our live trading session today with our LPP team. The NASDAQ market has gapped up. It has a slight resistance right now, right around 725. Would we say that that's fair? It's now retesting that same resistance. And again, the question everyone is asking, and rightfully so, is it worth buying the dip? Or do you think things can actually get worse before they get better? In today's live trading, the thing that we highlighted was that, hey, NASDAQ is up. Hey, semiconductors are up, right? We saw, let me go ahead and pull it up. We have Micron up 6 to 7% on the day. A beautiful push up from the lows of 930 during yesterday's overnight hours. But it's not just Micron. If you actually look at the few, SanDisk was up 8 to 9%, up to highs of nearly 1900. Again, the list goes on. We also have Intel. Intel's actually not performing the best finally, right? Intel was very resilient. Now it's actually falling behind. But if you actually look at the bigger picture, you might be asking, well, if they're up so much, why would we buy them? Well, because again, they were some of the hottest and are still some of the hottest performing stocks of 2026, right? They were at highs of 2400 and it retraced to lows of 1500. This could be a decent dip buy opportunity. A lot of people brought up the idea of like, hey, SanDisk is down 30%. We need to buy it. But when you actually dig a little bit deeper and just begin to pay attention that, hey, although the NASDAQ market looks fair, it's still trading within range, right? Again, the larger time frame, 4 hour. Common support right around 700. Common resistance right around 740 for QQQ. But if you actually look at the Mag 7 companies, almost all of them are red. Amazon in the red. Not aggressively, but still in the red. And this is after a slight recovery. We have Nvidia, again, in the red. We do have Microsoft slightly in the red, but again, recovering. That's after a nice push. Meta is in the green, leading the way. And then don't even get me started with Tesla. Do we have Tesla here? Is Tesla in the room with us? I thought we had Tesla. Let me go ahead and pull it up very quickly. It was trading at lows of 390. Now it hit highs of 400, but then now beginning to retrace. The question you need to ask yourself, no one should be able to decide this for you. Are you bullish enough in this market that you believe markets will only push higher? No one should criticize your opinion, right? I might have a bear thesis. You might have a bull thesis. In my opinion, I do believe bulls have more ground to stand on. Not because I believe fundamentally it makes sense, but because technically Trump continues to manipulate the market. He says that Iran is eager and begging for a deal, propping markets higher when we all know it's not true. It's the same bullshit that he's been saying for the past 12 to 13 weeks. And we know it's all fake. He's made it very apparent that he knows that even when they attack, all he needs to tweet about is that they're optimistic about a deal and markets quickly recover. He knows this. He's working with it. But if you actually pay attention to the overall market, right, like we talked about yesterday, if we break that support, then we have huge selling pressure, right? And although this does look attractive, and it really does, right, especially the move today with some of these semiconductors, Micron up 7%, SanDisk up to 9%, are you confident enough that they're going to continue to recover? That's the big what if. Again, no one is 100% right 100% of the time. So I don't want to hear of like, oh, I told you so, or, you know, if that was the case, then we would all be making as much money as Trump, right? Because we'd control the market. With that being said, we can't. And our job is just to work with the market. So what do we know so far, right? Again, we've received updates of what's happening, and this is during the week, which is very strange because normally this happens over the weekend for Trump. But this is why Trump is sending out those tweets about Iran is begging for a deal to keep the markets optimistic about a potential resolution or agreement. But what we've learned is that Iran has rushed at least 10 million barrels of crude oil and fuel overnight in anticipation of imminent resumption of the U.S. naval blockade, which Trump threatened, right? This follows the U.S. revocation of Iran's oil sanction waiver 48 hours ago and the past 2 nights of U.S. strikes on Iran. Again, the U.S. is striking Iran as Iran initially striked a series of boats at the Strait of Hormuz. Iran rushed to export, Iran's rush to export is planned as a buffer to stockpile that Iran has been building over the past weeks. Having now exported more than 70 million barrels of crude oil, giving Iran the ability to fully close the Strait of Hormuz in response to a U.S. naval blockade without collapsing its own oil economy. If this is true, right, that they've been rushing oil, millions of barrels out for the past few weeks because they knew that the U.S. was likely to strike again, now they can prolong the closure. And what would that do to us? What would that do to the U.S. market? What would that do to the stock market? Remember, Trump stated that the U.S. had 4 weeks of reserves, and that is why he needed to sign this ceasefire agreement with Iran. Now that Iran knows that, and they have this to work with, they have their own stockpile that they've been working with, this puts them in a pretty favorable position if they want to. At that point, if they do close the Strait of Hormuz, what instantly happens, right? Well, again, this is why we have an oil watch list, because oil is likely to go up if the closure is announced and the blockade does present itself. As of right now, as markets try to recover, it looks like oil has pulled on back. But look, from the lows of 31 to the quick push of 37, now we have UCO trading right around 34, 35. It's going to be very interesting to see as we get closer to the weekend what gets announced by both countries that either acts as a positive or negative catalyst. Remember, if it's any signs of uncertainty about closures, about the Strait of Hormuz, and the blockade is in effect, oil prices will push up and markets are likely to drop. Why? Because when oil prices go up, it will negatively impact the cost of oil to not only consumers, but also producers. And therefore, our inflation rate, both on the CPI and PPI, are expected to go up. So oil is going to be a big focus if any of these announcements are actually presented. On top of that, again, markets had a very nice recovery, but are now testing a previous resistance range. The thing that I find to be very interesting is that the markets were so willing to add $300 billion as soon as markets opened, but for what? What positive announcement got announced? Again, don't get me wrong, technically speaking, a lot of the semiconductors, like we said, were technically oversold. But technically, they can continue to sell off more if more uncertainty presents itself and then more fear gets injected into the market. We do have to make the announcement. Micron announced that it plans to invest up to $3 billion to strengthen the U.S. semiconductor supply chain ecosystem. I view this just to be news to prop up markets. That's just my take on it. But nonetheless, it is a promise that Micron intends to make and hopefully keep. We'll see if it actually follows through. But I wanted your take on it. What do you plan to do? Because we have to create a plan of action right now. What do you plan to do? As markets currently sit with where they are, do you view them to be cheap enough? Do you want to buy into this? Are you going long on the NASDAQ? Are you going long on the semiconductors? Or do you actually think that there's more fear and more uncertainty to come before they actually begin to fully recover? Again, there is no right or wrong. It doesn't matter what I think or what other people think. It's your time to create your plan of action. And remember, you don't have to be super aggressive. You don't have to go all in. If you are uncertain, then just make sure that your position size reflects that. That is the beautiful thing about the market, is that let's say you have $10,000 that you trade with or invest with. You don't have to go in with $10,000. Stop being an over-leveraged trader or investor. Go in with $500, go in with $1,000 if you even want to, or just wait for confirmation for direction to be more clear. When in doubt, never be afraid to cash out. And remember, it's only those that did not prepare for a sell-off that freak out and that panic once it presents itself. None of us can predict, but we can all prepare. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing within our LPP live trading sessions every morning. We talked about it. My main focus right now is Micron or SanDisk. They have these overbought reversals. There's huge pullback potential, and I'm looking forward to seeing if markets actually do begin to give back what they've gained, because again, all the news, in my opinion, is still negative. and likely to present only more fear. And if that's the case and they finally accept it, if they finally accept it without being manipulated by Trump, then I believe we can begin to sell back off, and that is where I can make money intraday, not as a swing trade, but intraday, shorting Micron or SanDisk. But that's if direction is favorable, which again is still too early to tell. If you look at the overall NASDAQ market, it's testing its same resistance, but it's not fully selling off. So I will wait for confirmation, and I'll make sure that I announce it to our LPP team. Again, our job is to keep you up to date and to inform you on both the bullish and the bearish side of the market. It's up to you to decide what opportunities are worth taking and what are worth the risk. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to comment down below, or if you'd like to join us for tomorrow's live trading session, it's the second link in the description down below. And like I've said before, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. I appreciate you guys' time. I hope that we're in a thumbs up. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.